You know, a lot of people say to me, Matty, what's it like to have a video with over 50,000 views? And I go, which one? And they say, you know, the one where you're 13, little bit chubby, rosy cheeks, squeaky voice, pissing around in someone's Chevrolet. Of all the videos to get 50,000 views, it's that one. Today I'm driving a bit of a family heirloom. This is the Chevrolet Matiz that you first saw on my channel 7 years ago. Let's not try and make a complete hash of it second time round, eh? Launched in 2005, the Chevrolet Matiz was basically the same as the Daewoo Matiz that went before. The design updates inside and out were welcome, but although inoffensive, the Chevy badge Matiz never looked as lovable as the Giugiaro designed Daewoo version. So, a little bit of background about this specific car then. My auntie bought it brand new in 2008. I went with her. And it was a good little runaround for her for quite a few years, really. That was until she gave it to my other auntie. And then it was nothing but trouble, basically. But we'll get to that later. Now, obviously, the exterior design of this sort of new Matiz isn't as iconic as the Giugiaro designed Daewoo Matiz. But I still stand by what I said on the original review about the interior.
It's not a dull, black, scratchy, plasticky interior like some of its other budget rivals.
You also get these orange seats, these orange dials and orange door cards, which my auntie was fuming about on the day of handover, but I've always quite liked them. It's fun and it's interesting. It's like Donald Trump's rubbed his face all over the seats. I doubt that happened though. I don't think Donald Trump would be allowed into Korea. Now, of course, the Matiz scores highly on having a cigarette lighter and a CD player, but it also has one of the best innovations of cars from this period. I don't understand why manufacturers don't do this anymore, but I remember this when it was becoming commonplace, and it's this carbon/ashtray, and it means that the manufacturer doesn't have to redesign the dashboard to incorporate the ashtray, and they can just pay £3 to put one of them in. But it also means that the avid smoker has got somewhere to put their Benson and Hedges. Now here in the back, it is a little bit cosy. There's plenty of headroom though, because it is a tall car. This seat is set for my identical twin, who is, like me, 6 foot. But I did make a very valid point in the original review, which is as follows.
It really depends on how tall you are and how tall the driver is.
Out. So what does it feel like to be driving a car that I done a shitty review of 7 years ago? Well, it feels weird. It feels like I'm not allowed to be driving this, and I've took it out for a joyride. But why would anybody want to take a Matiz out for a joyride? It is a bit of a talking point in this really dinky sort of hemmed-in cabin that you've got a massive steering wheel. We've got the typical American objects in the mirror are closer than they appear message on the wing mirror. You've got these dials here in the middle, your speedo and everything like that. On a normal car, that'd be a bit annoying because your mum would be able to see what speed you're doing. But on the Matiz, it's not really much of a problem. Power comes from a 0.8 litre petrol engine, or you could upgrade to one of the bigger engines, i.e. the 1 litre petrol engine, and that's all you got. But I think this 1 litre unit, which is the one I'd go for, is quite nippy. It's not too bad at all, and it always felt nippy when I was a passenger in it as a kid. And it feels alright now. Obviously on the motorway, you may not keep up with traffic. You know, it is a little bit sort of slower, should we say.
On the motorway. But for town driving, it's quite good. The gear change, it's light, but it's engaging. You know it's there. You sort of get that sort of chunky, clunky feeling, if you will. with the gear change, you sort of know what gear you're in, and that's a good thing. The steering, a little bit too light for me, but if you're a first time driver and you want to be aware of your surroundings and you want a really manoeuvrable car, this ticks a lot of boxes for city cars, and the type of thing that people want from city cars is light steering. And obviously one thing to note if you're looking at, say, the Matiz or cars from this period, is that they're not as well insulated or well screwed together as today's city cars, so the sort of performance and the ambience in the Matiz, it feels a little bit more sort of rough and ready. The brakes, I think it's probably just this car, but the brakes are a little bit too late to respond, if you ask me. There was a bit of a creaking then when we turned around the corner. That happens a lot in this car. This is a 60,000 mile example, so, you know, not too many miles at all. I know that it's been well looked after, well cared for. 2 owners. This car has failed its MOT 3 years in a row on a number of different things, and you think, well, you know, that's part and parcel of an old car. But between each MOT, it's only done 1,000 miles, sometimes even less. Pass for a retest, 1,000 miles, a number of other things have gone wrong, and that's happened twice. So it does question the car's dependability and reliability. So it feels like it's done a lot more mileage than it has. Well, it certainly has been nice to finally drive this car. I've always wanted to know what it was like to drive, and you know what, it's actually not a bad driving car. It's a really good city car. Why don't you buy one of these over a Vauxhall Corsa? I don't think you'll be disappointed. And I'm going to leave you with that thought.
So best in the city, but you're alright on the motorway as well.